So the world is going to shit. This isn't the first video you watched today, so you know the world's going to shit. Wouldn't it be nice if society fails, everyone isn't helpless and without necessities? Well, there's a way to do that, possibly. What I'm saying in this video is a means for people to have a human existence and have lives of meaning and vigor, where you don't have to be a socially retarded tech whiz to make it in the world. You can do human shit and hang out like the beginning of The Lord of the Rings, where we don't have to rely on tech so heavily, but can still have better technologies within this framework. It's not a new idea, but only Owen Benjamin is practicing it. I'm just going to flesh out my thoughts on what it could be. To keep it simple, if you have the largest grouping of people, you rely more on better and better technology, where we lose our meaning and can't survive independently or as family units. If you have more and more smaller groups, then you can rely on less updated tech and have more meaningful lives, but you don't get technological advancements and the fruits of those endeavors. However, if you have one identity in the smallest possible unit and one identity in the largest possible unit, you can have lives of meaning and tradition and have better technologies. We are complicated enough for this to be possible. A nation requires a certain set of skilled people and proper proportions so that a nation can be self-sustaining. Literally fractal that into the smallest possible unit, and individuals can have lives of meaning and sustain themselves more independently. You don't want all your eggs in one basket when it comes to maintaining civilization. If the world goes to shit, you still want communities that comprise the nation to have access to food, water, medicine, and shelter. And firearms, but the majority of the world is afraid of them. I'll get to that in another video. So fractal what makes a nation self-sustaining down to the smallest possible level, so if the nation fails, the communities comprising it aren't helpless, like the Shire in most people's eyes. These Shire units have the same qualitative amount of professions that are required to sustain a nation, minus a few. Those jobs we subtracted still emerge from the nation everywhere, but aren't required for the single commune-style unit, like cops, industrial farmers, or industrial anything. Only jobs that are required to sustain the small unit will be the most prominent. Small communities can have track of logistics to keep everything running, so AI isn't necessary if you have more and more cells rather than everyone under one umbrella. However, we can still have technologies, but also have a control of how we use technologies, like a person who can handle their liquor, rather than what we have now. The idea is that with easier logistics and a more comprehensive economy, one needs less developed technologies and can survive on what already exists. This is the whole smaller groups require less tech, while larger groups require more technology. Cells need a certain amount of people to maintain its practically internal economy, like Monteriggioni in Assassin's Creed 2. With more tech, life for humans becomes more alien, not something we always adapt to, even when we desire it, like the individualistic lifestyle every young person dreams of, only to have never touched a woman or experienced life in any meaningful way. It turns out the previous model of God first and family-oriented cultures brings us more happiness and contentment with life, rather than being some downtown at night, driving to a mall, listening to Drake type person. But the idea is that we can have the best of both worlds. You can be that individual and have the Shire type life, both in sustainable ways. Given there are higher prestige organizations, businesses, and areas for large amounts of people, there will be a need for large cities. It's not just the small units and then it jumps straight to state then nation. There needs to be a spectrum of communities of different scales, and they all need power for self-sustainment. However, anything beyond the smallest unit will get sucked into federal-headed order. Only the smallest units will have the most flexibility, or should, theoretically. These larger centers will take money away from smaller cells, so it's important to have a population maintained above a minimum so they can sustain themselves long-term. With large cities, all the talent will go there, but you don't need to be specially gifted in any trade or job to sustain the smaller cells within satisfaction and livability. If you are a try-hard, go to the city. If you just want to get by and keep things simple, sign up for a Monteriggioni Shire-type place. Land is bought through unions for land. With the right people coming together, they can leverage their combined numbers and capital to purchase land, and the same members make that community. It gets sort of complicated with share of ownership and rights to sections of the land and all that, but it's not mathematically impossible. with the right people and good communication, it can be done. Yes, you might have flakes, but if you have enough people, you have a means of maintaining this body to accomplish this mini-state project. So, form a community with talented leaders, invest money as a group, pay for land, pay for construction, move into habitats, open businesses and institutions, create jobs, give a jumpstart money-wise and give a jumpstart job-wise so you have a flow of money instantaneously, making the place livable when people move in. People's natural tendencies will make that unit theoretically self-sustaining. So, in general, if more people invest, it means you have less debt per individual, but you also have less stability. If you have less people investing, it means you have more debt and potentially more stability, though. We have the internet. People pay reaction video accounts a decent amount of money via Patreon or whatever. Do something better than that. Whoever has a following leads the followers. Come together with a shared vision and get the project going. Any barriers in law and market should be resolved via communication, strength in numbers, organizing well, and committing to actions. This project requires tenacity, grit, perspicacity, resilience, protein, cigars, teen girls, leadership qualities. Yes, it requires something of you, but it's better than being helpless in this inhumane, undignified hellhole while rich people do ketamine and have anal sex with each other. The world already does this, but the masses aren't included in the group. It's just rich people. I'm essentially saying make a higher dimensional fractal of what we already do. A higher dimensional fractal just means when you zoom in, it doesn't stop, it keeps fractaling. A person who leads fewer people is less corruptible than a person who leads everyone at once, all things being equal. This isn't a pipe dream. You can live like this. The earlier the project is committed to, the better we can retain knowledge about modern technologies. If we wait for shit to collapse and then network, it goes straight to Amish-type living and worse. In the end, we have three sources of influence and causers of change in the world. One is rich people, two is artists, and three is the conscious organization of the masses. And four, they all origami into more categories, but don't worry about that yet. The rich are corruptible if left unchecked. The popular artists are corruptible if left unchecked. The masses barely have any organization to be corrupted by power. Instead, we're corrupted by our own devices. In the end, all three have to keep each other in check. But class 3, the masses, we do nothing at all to keep those other two in check. And then we're dumbfounded that they're corrupted. You're following people on YouTube, right? Or you have an audience because you're a YouTuber? Get an audience from that audience to start efforts in the right direction, and not just talking about useless shit that drains everyone's energy. This is the internet. Think about how much good we can do with all this technology. And we fucking don't do anything with it. And now we're about to lose everything we cherish because of our indolence. Get a community with a shared vision, organize together to buy land, get shit done so it's self-sustaining. Live a human fucking existence. It's short as is, and you want to spend it slaving away, getting poorer, while rich people get richer, all while avoiding eye contact with the opposite sex through this journey. Being helplessly disempowered as the most degenerate class of people we have suck all the life out of us. Get fucking real. This isn't a game. People are in hell because of a lack of civilization and God. Don't just sit there being helpless. Use the internet to make your voices heard, democratically and economically. Orga-fucking-nize. And leverage your numbers against the rich people's dollar. That is the video. Please like and subscribe if you like this content. I just started this journey, so there will be more to come. Thank you. Have a good day.